What's going on, guys? So today on this SHOKY third-party itty-bitty Transformers Committee review, we're looking at something really new from NewAge, and it is their The Armada Evil Robot Force number 43, the Warrior Tier. And it is their version of a G1 CYCLONUS from the original 86 movie. And I like that they're going with the different naming scheme here. So what Tyr is a Norse god, right? If I remember correctly, from the God of War games. And nice artwork here. Looks cool. Doesn't look like an official like Takara box or anything like that. Just some very nice artwork. And you come to the side, you got Warrior Tier. And you got, NewAge, the legendary heroes. And you've got flight mode and you've got bot mode. And come to the back, you've got flight mode. You have I think they used the purple potato here, if I had to guess. So you can see here what is clearly meant to be Galvatron's ship that they're given. And we've never really gotten a version of that officially, outside of the really crappy thing from Hasbro that came with Unicron, that little crappy thing. Or was it with Unicron, or was it with Galvatron? I think it was Galvatron, his extra weapons. But I think this is actually that other third-party company that made a Shockwave that turned into that, and it's called the Purple Potato. So if I had to guess, this is officially Purple Potato. And then you got NewAge, ages 15 plus, hey, right in the middle of that, 2022, that's this year, made in China, okie dokie. And then you come over here, you got, once again, flight mode, bot mode, Warrior Tier. Stuff on the bottom, after a long colonial period, Convoy finally became the Guardians of the Universe. Under leadership of Somas, the Armada are a group of evil robots trying to seize power. Interesting. Didn't know any of that. And then come over here, space flight mode. Oh, cool. Nice box, really. Big box. Set that over here. And as usual, you get some instrucciones. Very stiff, like heavy card instructions. And I figured out most of the transformation without the instruction, but there was a couple spots, especially around what to do with the arms and how to collapse them properly, that I was very confused by. And some things were very, very stiff out of the box, and I was extremely confused. Like, I gotta tilt this down because otherwise it's too bright to see on camera. But otherwise, it's pretty neat. I'm not gonna lie. Is it landing gear? I guess? Huh. I have to look at that. I don't think I realized he had like some landing gear up in his head. Let's see here. Or maybe I did realize that and I just completely forgot. Because I don't think he has any, he doesn't have any rear landing gear. No? Yeah. Like, I'm looking at the transformation, I'm like, yeah, that's basically how I do it, but not necessarily, but it makes sense. So that's the one thing when you learn to follow the instructions, or whether or not you figure out how to do it on your own. So it's pretty cool, not gonna lie. All right, and he also comes with other stuff in the box too, but of course that'll be with accessories, which is fine. So without further ado, here's our purple boy. Very purple boy, by the way. And they're kind of on this new kick where like a lot of the newer bots come out in this ridiculous metallic paint. I mean, look at this. And once again, I don't know if this is actual metallic paint or it's the plastic and then it has a like a metallic clear coat over it, or a pearl clear coat, because you could do it that way. I mean, a lot of it is painted. Like these different sections of purple 100% are definitely masked off, especially up here on the nose. That's all different color paint. So I don't know, maybe it is 100% painted, not just clear coated. And looks pretty good even from underneath. There is one thing, out of the box, he's not 100% transformed. He's got a couple extra stages you should do. And then also he has no hands when he's in the box. So you do have to remove a runner that comes with 2 fist hands and the 2 open hands here. Obviously you can't transform him with the open hands. You have to use the fist hands. Otherwise, he looks pretty good here. Now, there was one thing I didn't realize now. Maybe I need to look into it about the landing gear. I guess I completely forgot he has landing gear up there. So, let me figure this out real quick, because I don't think, you can't move any of this until you move that. So we'll just deal with it in the transformation when we get there. I'll cut back to the landing gear, but either way, looks pretty cool. I like that they even sort of have some thrusters hanging out the back here. I think if you had some effect parts, you could probably plug them in there. I don't know if, I don't think the Hasbro ones would work, like the Bluish parts or anything else like that. But yeah, he looks good. One thing that doesn't make sense is they didn't leave the ability to put him on a flight stand. I know he absolutely has a peg for a flight stand, but it's buried in alt mode. So, like, there's no good way to let him fly. And if you want a size comparison with one of the other flyers, here's, of course, one of the Seekers. You know, he's roughly Seeker sized. Of course, he should be bigger because in the show, he transforms and Galvatron rides around inside him, you know? So there's that, which I always thought was funny. It's like Galvatron could fly around inside of CYCLONUS, but then they gave him a whole spaceship, as it were. You know, so there he is next to a Seeker. You can see decent sized, you know, almost the same length, if not exactly the same length as the Seeker, minus the booster parts there. So it would be cool if you could plug these in over here or something, but there wouldn't be enough room for that. But that's pretty cool. And just for you know, for giggles, here he is next to the Mirage we looked at last time. You know, so a sizable thing. And yes, I have seen the alternate mold version that they made into a Beast Wars Death Charge. Not gonna lie, might have to get that because it looks pretty freaking cool. That is a hefty remold. Oh, and I think out of the box, the nose. Okay, so out of the box, I think it's folded up pretty much like this. And you just have to just sort of assemble it. Oh, also, by the way, I want to show a picture of this. This is the actual packaging right here. Yeah, I don't know what NewAge was thinking when they made the packaging like that, but yeah. Right, okay. Yeah, so he does have landing gear just tucked away behind the head here, and you can't access that till you transform him. So let's go ahead and transform him, and then I'll cut to where the landing gear is back in the past. All right, so there he is with the landing gear out. So you can, in fact, use landing gear. Whoop-de-doo. You know, that is a thing. I'm glad they included it, except there's no, like, back landing gear, so it doesn't matter. And don't be fooled into thinking there's some hinges right there that do anything. As far as I can tell, there aren't. So, you know, back to the transformation. So, once again, we're folding these out and extending down like so. And with the feet down here, you want to slide them forward and pinch the toes up. So slide forward and tilt the toes up. Let's break the arms free. Now there's a couple tabs up under here. So there's a slot there on the hand and a tab right there. And then another tab that goes from this part into the purple piece. It holds all that in place. And then once you have it like that, you can actually utilize the hip joint to break that loose. Now, this is the part where I was thinking that there's your flight hole, so to speak, but you can't access that. And that's what I think is really strange. So that is perfect for if you wanted to fly in bot mode, but that's not how you wanted to fly. You wanted to fly in this friggin' mode. So, all right, we're going to swing this up. Pop the legs out a little bit. And we're going to, oh, sorry. This panel here, I always forget, needs to flip out. So you see this gap here. It's a nice panel there. Tab, tab, hole, tab, tab. So we want the foot to flip back like this. This whole thing comes in. Those tabs will align to there. We want this panel to close down. And you got a tab there that will secure it from the back, like so. So now that leg is solid. When I first transformed it, I did not know these panels were there, and I was wondering why you had such gigantic gaps in the legs, and I thought that was a really bad design on their part, and then I realized, oh, that's just me not realizing that part moves. And close this up, and the legs are essentially done. Let's fix the skirts here. So there you go. So you think, you know, kind of looks like a manta ray as it is. Look. And then, like, this is where the G1 toy is essentially done, right? All right, so the entire backpack, all this stuff, folds down like so. And you, go ahead and rotate his head around. Split his ears. Like so. Fold up your landing gear. That's completely unnecessary, but you know, you got it. Fold up your nose cone. By the way, there's also this spot right here that really looks like it can hold a weapon. But as far as I can tell, his weapon doesn't plug in there. I mean, you can. Like, there's a version of the toy that does this, so I guess that's about as close as it gets, realistically. But you can do that. Sorry I didn't show that in flight mode, but there we go. Pop that in there. And you want to fold this up, and you want to break this back, like so. And you got these two tabs that will stick out. You want this to go into here. And now, you would think you just... No. You actually rotate, and then now that tab is going to lock into there, like so. And then you swing this up, clearance it to get in there, and there's your backpack. All nice and shway. All right, so rotate here on the notch shoulder, swing this up, tab that in, swing it up, tab that in. And now he's just getting ready for his morning stretch, right? And so that leads us to rotating at the actual shoulder. And then we got our arms. Go ahead and stretch them out. Flip the hand down like so. Now we do need access to our elbow, which is actually facing this direction. So we want to rotate at the bicep up here. But now this is on the wrong side, so we need to rotate this 180 degrees ourselves. And then we rotate the hand accordingly. And then that leads us to the shoulder wings, which flip-flop back like so. Now let's do the same thing on the other side. Flip out, rotate down, shoulder flaps back, extend the arm and the hand, rotate the bicep, which is a little tight sometimes. Make sure you're not twisting here because you'll snap your elbow off. Rotate 180. Or rotate however you need to for the hand. And last but not least, cinch up your hips. Your hip. Like so. And make sure he's standing straight and tall. And here is TYR, aka CYCLONUS. CYCLONUS and his armada sweeps. We don't have sweeps yet. I assume they're coming very, very soon. Oh, they did, in fact, just show off a very new version of Grimlock. I'm a little sad, but excited, because I don't want to get rid of my DX9 versions, but I guess that gives me an excuse to have some of them in bot mode versus some of them in alt mode. So, it is what it is. But here's CYCLONUS, and he looks good. Look at that face. That's a really nice face sculpt. Painted, red eyes in there too. Painted little head thingy there. And his head just is on a ball joint, so he got the swivel. He can move all the way around. The only thing that sucks is the big exposed screw on the backside of his head, but that allows them to do head sculpt swaps. So they do also have an IDW one with a more samurai look to it. They have a toy version that's coming. They also have, like I said, the depth charge version as well. All the nice paint is here. Silver paint down here on the belly. Orange translucent as well. Looks pretty good. Just universal Decepticon sticker there. If I get some bigger ones, I will definitely replace it because that just seems a little bit minuscule in my opinion. Shoulders do rotate a little tight, but it is what it is. And you also have the hinge joint that can come out like that. And then you can even get the arm up that way. So it takes, if you're counting, 1, 2 extra joints just to get the arm all the way up. Nice engineering, but kind of annoying. And then they have the fake painted area for an external or an extra biceps section there that doesn't really exist, which I find interesting. So the bicep does rotate, but it is tight within its area, so just be careful. Double jointed elbow gets you that much movement. You get the forearm rotation with this section, but you do break the sculpt, so you can do whatever you want with that. But just make sure, because sometimes his weapons, as we'll look at in a minute, are too big, and you have to clear this weird hump. And then the hands just rotate there, and he can hold his weapons. You can also swap out for the expressive hands if you want. So if you're going to keep them in bot mode, you can do that. They are hollow, so just be warned. They're very similar to the hands we've gotten before. Just kind of resized, but it is what it is. We do get the waist swivel, which is good. You know, they don't even care that they're breaking that middle bit. It looks good. And we get the ridiculous bend over ability. And then there's the the plug hole that we don't get access to in our flight mode, which is still annoying. So we got ball joint mounted hips that can come out to perfect Jean-Claude. Looks good. The front skirts get up and out of the way so you can kick forward for a ridiculous chorus line. Single jointed knee goes to there. There is no other knee joint, though. You'd think they probably could have engineered something here, but I don't think it's worth it considering the leg is hollow and holding its whole self together. You do get the nice, the new design thingy, like the Unicrons basically end up, anybody reform out of a Unicron basically has these kind of knees, which is interesting. Nice legs that actually clean up fairly well. I kind of wish they'd put some detail here because the inner leg actually gets all the detail because it was on the surface. You do get the foot flip-floppy ability here, ankle rocker, which is ridiculous. Toe point and rotation, I guess. Does a toe itself? No, okay, so the whole thing spin. So you can get a decent stance out of him. So because he is a bigger bot, you can actually get a lot of movement out of him. And that's good. And I want to talk about the fact that he is a bigger bot. So, for instance, there he is next to Galvatron. Now, if you saw these two together for the first time, which one would you assume is the boss? I would think it's the much larger, spiky guy, in my opinion. But also, going back to the scale chart thing I was bringing up during the Mirage review, this is where scales start to very much get really, really wonky. Because in a lot of scales, CYCLONUS and Galvatron are meant to be the same height. There's not a ridiculous height difference, like, at all. And here, he's like 2 heads taller than Galvatron, and personally I think that's a little bit much. Like, I think he is too tall. I mean, here he is next to the DX9 Prime, which is not the new standard. The new Prime is actually just a hair taller, so he towers over Prime as it is. And here he is next to a Carbot, almost double the height of a Carbot. And even more shocking, here he is with the Magic Square Ultra Magnus, where they're basically the same size. But the funny part is, in different versions of this, Magnus would be bigger than him, or he would tower over Magnus. And in this case, they're roughly the same height. Now, mind you, Magic Square, not NewAge. But the NewAge, as far as I know, the NewAge version of Ultra Magnus, because I don't have him yet, is even bigger than this because he actually is a Prime inside of an armor. And like I said, I think it's an issue. I think he is too big. He fits a thing, but he's still kind of too big. He would even tower over Megatron. I thought Galvatron was a big bot until this came out. I mean, he's going to be Dinobot size, and I don't know if that's actually close or not. Like, he's going to be roughly the same size as Grimlock. If not, just a hair smaller. Weapons, he does have this little painted gun. Looks nice, silver, blue stripes. But here's my problem. That's insanely tight, and he's not really holding it. I mean, that's only a little bit in there, and, okay, so this is only the second time I've done that, and I actually got it out this time. Maybe it was the left hand. I think the left hand was even worse. Good God, yeah. Like, so you can get a little bit in there, but it is insanely tight. So, not clearanced very well for the weapons, but still a nice little gun. And then he comes with his much heftier rifle, which is super hollow. So this must be a toy reference because they don't do hollow weapons and stuff. So, I mean, this is just very blatantly crap for NewAge. So, this must be a toy reference because they just don't do molds like this. And he can hold that, barely. Like I said, this part of his arm is a little wonky, so if you rotate it a little bit, you can get a better grip on it, like that. I'm actually not a fan of this. I kind of like the bigger gun aesthetic, but I don't like the way the rest of it looks. This just insanely hollow bit. And that's just not up to their normal standards. So that must be a purposeful decision, because it's not something they do, you know. And I feel like I'm going to break this thing trying to get it further in the hand. So, kind of wish he had an expressive face. Like, you know how they gave us expressive faces to swap out with different... See, did Galvatron have different heads? I think Megatron did. Like, a couple of them had different swappable faces, but I wish he was given an open mouth. Something like that. You know, Scourge is going to be interesting, because they're going to have to give you different faces, because he... you know, transform, you know, there's different versions of him, whether it's Scourge or just one of the sweeps, you know. You need to have that little goatee effect. What is this little hunk of plastic here? Where did this come from? Looks like it came off Prime. Well, that ain't good. I will say that compared to Mirage, it does feel like a more premium figure. Feels less bad. Well, I'm gonna turn off this overhead light. Maybe it'll help a little. Oh yeah, there we go. That helped a little. Like, the plastics feel solid. He is really good. I mean, except for these couple small gaps, you know, he's pretty flawless in bot mode. Once again, I don't know why they put you a flight peg in the backside bot mode, but not give you anything to allow him to fly in alt mode. So I do think I'll get him eventually, probably just flying next to Unicron. But I forgot to... hold on, I gotta grab Ghost Starscream. I'll be right back. Okay. So, like, there's also Megatron. So you can see he's significantly taller than just regular old Megs. I guess Megatron's actually shorter than Galvatron, which is strange. But there he is next to Ghost Starscream. So you can see he towers over a Seeker even. And the Seekers were some of the bigger ones. So, you know, this helps me build out the movie poster idea that I'm going for. With the, you know, different movie bots and stuff like that. So we'll see how well it ultimately works out. But either way, he's good. I think he's a little pricey. You know, NewAge prices have gone up, especially for some of their larger bots. Even the smaller ones that used to go for a little bit less, I think they've increased the prices due to inflation. Like, what's his name? Beachcomber. Like, I need to get Beachcomber. And I don't know if I can justify that price for Beachcomber. It's kind of a bit much. If it came with Beachcomber and like somebody else that was roughly the same size, maybe. Like, give you more for the money. So, I don't know. Like, these things are creeping up in price. The quality is generally going up, but the price is definitely exploding. But either way, this one is an example of a really good one. The transformation is easy and intuitive, unlike Galvatron, where it is kind of a mess and difficult to do, and generally left dissatisfied. But as I need now an Ultra Magnus, yeah, I'm gonna have to get that big old boy too, I guess, to finish this out. I was debating on it, but I guess I need to at this point. They have other bots I still need to also get. Like I said, I need to get Beachcomber. I still need to get some of the other redone Seeker molds. There's a bunch of Shattered Glass ones that I need to get. I'm sure a Shattered Glass CYCLONUS will come along eventually as well. But, yep, that's pretty much it for this review, though. But I'll catch you guys on the next one. Go make sure you watch the other NewAge / DX9 reviews. Sorry, my brain is just tired at this point. You guys know what to do. Go check out the other stuff, like, subscribe, do all the things, and come back next time. And make sure you check out the Taro video where we put him back into his nice, cool spaceshipy mode. And I'll see you then. Remember, as always, gone nerdy.